All right, all right, all right, all right. We are live. Oh, come on, man. We are live. My goodness, it took us a while to figure out why our camera wasn't working. But we are back for business. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Thank God for technology. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it disappoints. But today we are back on the live and we're talking about some important stuff for your health. A deadly sense for high blood pressure. That's exactly what we are going to be talking about. And sorry for waiting if you've been waiting. High blood pressure is often called the silent killer, for a reason. Why? Because it creeps up unnoticed, causing damage to your heart and brain before you even know it. But did you know that there are specific habits, what I call sins?
Sense.
Yeah, things that we do every day that could be pushing you closer to stroke because of high blood pressure. That's what's going to happen. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, that's right. And the truth is, many of these habits can be changed. Today, we are here to uncover the top eight, right? Not
Top
five.
eight, yes.
8 lifestyle sins that are silently raising your blood pressure and increasing your risk of a stroke.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. 8 sins. Those of you who are believers, who are religious, we're talking about sins for your blood pressure. That's what's happening today. Yeah. From stress to poor sleep, from too much salt and sugar to smoking and stimulants. We're going to be talking and breaking down each of these risks and explain how they affect your body. And most importantly, show you how to avoid them.
If you are concerned about your health or the health of a loved one, stay with us. By the end of this episode, you will have the tools you need to make some real changes and protect your heart and brain.
Oh, come on, man. Protect your heart and brain. So grab a seat, get comfortable, because when we come back, we will dive into the 8 deadly sins that could potentially be putting your health at risk, especially your heart health. So we will be right back in a very short minute.
Welcome back. Before we talk about the deadly sins that you need to repent, right? Let's just quickly talk about high blood pressure, what it is, and how dangerous it is.
What it is and how dangerous it is. Come on, man. All right. So that's right, Gifty. Hypertension, often known as a silent killer, affects about 1 point. Let me see if I can show this right here. Affects about 1.13 billion people globally. Billion with a B, as we said last time. It significantly increases the risk of heart disease, and also a lot of other severe health issues, including kidneys, as we've talked about. But the good news is, if you stop these 8 sins that we're about to talk about, there will be hope for you. There will be hope for you.
Wow. So we showed the chart.
Yeah.
High blood pressure is defined as the systolic number or top number of your blood pressure above 130. So any number above 130, which is the top number, is considered high blood pressure. And also the bottom number above 80 is also considered high blood pressure. So let's look at the chart and try to understand it better.
Yeah, so if you look at the chart on our screen here, we can see that, your pressure may be normal right now, especially if you are of a very young age, or maybe you're a lady. Ladies don't usually have blood pressure until their older ages. So you may have a good blood pressure now, and it's probably less than 120 and less than over 80. So 120 at the bottom and 80, 120 at the top, the systolic, and then 80 at the bottom, the diastolic. That is normal blood pressure. Anything less than that is good. You are in good shape. And then also, it could be, elevated, where a lot of people are, especially when you are in your 28, mid 20s to 30s, you have high blood pressure in your family, you may be running already an elevated blood pressure for now, because your pressure is, the top one is about 120 to 129, and also the bottom number is less than 80. So you are not there yet.
Yeah, and also if you look at the chart, you can see that there is a stage 1 and a stage 2 and crisis, hypertensive crisis. Yeah, so if it's above 130, like we've said already, it's considered stage 1 high blood pressure. Or when the bottom is above 80, it's considered stage 1. So when it's stage 2, when the top one is over 140 or higher, then it becomes crisis state. Like if you take your blood pressure and it's higher than 180, it means that you are at that hypertensive crisis. That attention must readily be like,
oh my goodness, you got to go to the emergency room right away, because you could stroke out or just fall out and die, and people will say, oh, I just saw him yesterday, he was fine, oh, this world, we'll go and we'll come. No, come on, man. Their pressure was high at that point. And so 180 is a crisis. If you check right now as we speak, and you are around that ballpark, you got to go to the emergency room right now. 160 even may be an emergency for some people. But suffice to say that anything over 180, you got to go.
That's the top one, right?
That's the top one. And also anything over 120, the bottom one, you got to go. You got to see a doctor right away. Don't even finish watching the show. Or you can carry your phone with you as you go to the emergency room, because we need you to see a doctor right away. Come on, man. All right. So whether your pressure is elevated anyway, or maybe you are in the high range, keep watching, because we are going to into the 8 deadly sins that people who are concerned with blood pressure should repent from.
Repent.
Yeah, you got to repent. Come on, man. You got to repent. Last week we talked about the foods that you need to take, but these are the lifestyle sins that we got to repent from. And so let's go forward. Yeah.
Now let's go through the outline for today's show. So we have sin 1. Sin 1 is salt and processed foods.
And then sin 2, let me see if I can put my my show on there. So sin 1, she said, is salt and processed foods, right? And sin 2 is stress, and I'll call it unmanaged stress.
Then we have sin 3 and 4, which is added sugar and stimulants.
Oh, come on, man. Added sugar and stimulants, 3 and 4. And then the 4 and 6.
We jumped 5.
Oh, we jumped 5? All right, I'll just put them all now so you can see it. But yeah, the 5 and 6 is sleep and sedentary lifestyle.
Okay, and the last one, which is sin 7 and 8, is smoking and saturated fats.
Smoking and saturated fats for you. These are the top sins that we have to change and repent from today. If you are watching, I know it's not easy to stop sinning, but these ones could put you into a stroke or a crisis situation, heart attack, or anything that we have already mentioned, like kidney disease and the rest. And so in order not to have anything like that happening, we want to make sure that we change our lives and repent from these sins. But you may say that, hey, but who are you guys? We got to introduce ourselves, right? So with that being said, I am Asamoah Oteng, and I am a health and financial services professional. And my co-host is?
I am Gifty Oteng, health and financial services professional.
Oh, come on, man. We talk about money and health, how to live well and live long and chop your money. Come on, man. Make life and, make money and chop it too. So that's what we are about. You can follow us and share, our stuff on YouTube, Dr. Oteng, and we talk about financial and money issues on second channel, which is the Whole Life Check channel as one. And if you follow us on both channels, you're going to be rich and you're going to live long because you'll be healthy to enjoy your money. Come on, man. That's what we are doing. All right. So
let's begin with sin 1.
Sin 1.
Which is salt. So salt may seem harmless, but it's one of the biggest culprits behind high blood pressure. I think it's a common knowledge, right? Salt.
Most people do know.
So when you consume too much salt,
And the key is what? Too much. Because,
too much salt, it causes your body to retain water, which puts extra pressure on your blood vessels. So over time, this constant strain can lead to hypertension, increasing your risk of heart disease and stroke.
Oh, come on, man. Increasing your risk for heart disease and stroke. And the key is over time. You may say that, oh, I eat salt, I'm a salt eater, and nothing, my pressure is good. Yeah, it's good now. But I only give you a few years, especially when you start getting older. That salt is going to get back to you. So over time, but hopefully you won't eat until that over time happens. You're going to change and repent from the sin of salt addiction. Come on, man.
Some people will say they have salty tongue.
Some people like say they have salty tongue because others have sweet tongue. Well, we will still say that salt, too much salt is sin.
Yes.
And today, it's a deadly sin, one of the 8 deadly sins, especially if you are concerned about your heart health, your blood pressure, and not getting stroke. So, with that being said, we'll move forward. So, it is not just, the salt you sprinkle on your food or, any little thing that you would think that, just little salt here and there. But actually, salt permeates to a lot of other things we eat, especially when we talk about processed foods. Processed foods, it is huge. Like what we are showing, we have fries here on our screen. For those who are watching on YouTube, you can see fries is a highly processed food. It's been cut into little pieces. It's potatoes that have been cut into very little pieces, increased surface area. Because they are very small, there's a lot of room to put salt on it. And this is juiced up. Without salt, fries doesn't taste good. I mean, if you are watching and you disagree, put it on. Every fries without salt doesn't taste good. And why? Because it's so processed and you need the salt. And of course, another thing that we'll talk about, the fat to make it taste good. And so if you say that, I don't usually eat salt, as for me when I cook, yeah. But if you're eating processed foods, you are eating a lot of salt. Some of the salt in the foods, you don't even taste it because it's not sodium chloride. It's just the sodium itself, which is actually also the damage that comes with the damage for high blood pressure.
Right.
So that's something that we definitely need to take care and then watch out for. Processed foods, added salt that you put in the food yourself, and then the things you buy, the canned foods, and all the other things that you have that basically cause your food to be so much packed with sodium. And that is what I would think I would say. So now, with that being said, I think we can go, unless you have anything to add to the salt part.
So with the salt part, you mentioned that sometimes you don't even taste it. So when it's processed, it's just so that it can stay, the shelf life, is longer. So they put a lot of salt in there. This one, you cannot taste it. So sometimes it's not just the taste. That's why you have to learn to read labels.
Oh, come on, man. Read those labels.
Or avoid processed foods altogether.
Or avoid it altogether. Processed food, canned foods.
snacks.
Let's say some of them. Snacks. Salty snacks. Some of them, they taste so good. You buy it and we are addicted to them because it's just a small snack. But if you turn it back on the label ingredient and you see how much sodium is packed in there, you won't taste salt, but trust me, you are eating salt because sodium is the culprit right here. And so that is something that we should be...
Yeah, and also sometimes restaurant foods.
Exactly.
Some people don't want to cook. Put things together on their own. They just want to order or eat outside because you are not doing it yourself. And sometimes you don't know the source of ingredients or things that they are using to cook for you. They may be using all processed foods. And if you depend so much on restaurant foods or food that are made outside, it's likely that you are going to increase the salt content. And as we have mentioned, it increases your blood volume, and that over a period of time will spike your blood pressure. And that can lead to you staying in that sin, right? And not
staying in that sin. Some people are addicted to the sin of salt, whether by choice or by indirectly,
lifestyle.
lifestyle because of canned foods, processed foods. Every food they eat has been processed because typically they don't even cook their own food. And like she said, if you are buying it outside, they will make sure that it is not only tasty by salt, but also preserved so it lasts longer. And if that's all you do, trust me, your pressure is going to continue to increase. And when God comes, he's going to judge you because you lived on the sin of salt all your time. All right. Can we go to the next one then? So let's go to sin number 2 then. The sin number 2 is stress. Oh, come on, man. Stress is a huge sin affecting a lot of people. Stress is more than just, mental burden. It's a silent killer when it comes to your blood pressure. When you are stressed, your body releases hormones, like adrenaline, as we mentioned before, as well as cortisol, which increase your heart rate and constrict your blood vessels. This action raises your blood pressure, and over time, chronic stress in particular can lead to persistent hypertension. No matter what you do, if you are chronically stressed, your blood pressure is going to be elevated. It's going to be high because of that fact that you are chronically stressed. I don't know if you want to add anything to it.
And the effect of stress don't stop there. It often leads to unhealthy coping mechanisms. So you are stressed, so you may end up doing something that is unhealthy, like overeating, smoking, or drinking, like, alcohol, which only make things worse.
Oh, come on, man. My goodness. You are stressed, but you are doing certain things to cope with your stress, and all these things are even making your situation worse because they are all unhealthy. Yeah,
so managing stress isn't just about feeling better. It's essential for keeping your blood pressure in check and protecting your heart.
Oh, come on, man. It is essential. It is essential. And trust me, we are not naive about the fact that life is stressful. So you're going to be able to say that you guys, you probably have made it, so you don't know what you're talking about. You know how much stress I'm in, especially the diasporans here, with all the demands of family from where you came from, or all the other people, people who are also from here, who are also every day working stress. And then parents who may be saying that you probably don't have any teenage kids. That's why you're saying that. No, we know there's stress everywhere you turn. But the key here we want to emphasize is chronic stress. So it's okay. Now, like before we came live, our cameras won't turn on. I mean, they turn on, but they won't show up in our software. So there was stress there. We had to be stressed in order to be able to fix it. But as soon as we fix it, that stress is gone. Now we are laughing and smiling like nothing happened. Come on, man. So that stress is good because it helped us achieve something right there and then, and it's gone. It's what we call acute stress. But when you are stressed prolonged, all the time, especially if you are stressed at work and that's what you do for a living, it's going to hurt because you're going to be stressed every day you work. And how many days do you work in a week? How many days do you work in a month? It's going to pile up and lead to chronic stress, which is not healthy for you. So don't say that you are naive. No, we are not naive. We live in a stressful place. As well, both of us manage places where stress is also there. And yet we come home and we make life move because you can bring work home. You can bring issues of parenting everywhere. You got to at some point let go and let God. Oh, come on, man. I'm preaching right here. You got to do something about that stress because if it doesn't age you, it can age you. If it doesn't age you, it's going to make your blood pressure go up. You're going to get all sorts of problems. And that's exactly what we want to avoid. So take control, unless you want to add anything. Yeah, so take control of your stress, and control your health. Simple practices and some of the things that you can do, like deep breathing. It may sound like a cliche, deep breathing. Yeah, sit down and breathe deep. Like we tell our sons sometimes, take a deep breath. Nathan, take a deep breath, just relax. Yes, as an adult, sometimes just take a deep breath. Sit down, calm down, and let life just be and take a deep breath. So deep breathing exercises. And then also regular exercise. And then mindfulness, being mindful can make a whole world of difference. So start today. If you are concerned about the sin of stress, start today, and your heart will definitely thank you. Come on, man.
Thank you.
Your heart will definitely thank you. Yes. Should we go to the
Yeah, so sin 3.
sin number 3? All right.
So that is sugar.
Sugar. Yes, go ahead.
Sugar might seem innocent. You know, we talk more of salt, but sugar is also considered a major culprit, just like salt. So consuming too much sugar, especially from sweetened beverages and processed foods, can lead to weight gain, insulin resistance, and eventually hypertension.
Oh my goodness. Sugar doing all that. That's sweet stuff.
Sweet stuff. So high sugar intake increases the risk of developing metabolic syndrome.
Talk about that. What's metabolic syndrome?
So which includes a cluster of conditions like high blood pressure, high sugar, and unhealthy cholesterol levels.
Oh, come on, man.
So I think we tackle all these 3 disease states
on our channel we
some time ago.
Yeah.
So that's the metabolic syndrome. So if you consume too much sugar, your chance of getting high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and high sugar is very high.
My goodness. You mean high diabetes, high blood sugar?
Diabetes, yes.
My goodness. That's a lot to take in. So sugar is not just that sweet. And, when we talk about sugar, most people go only to the diabetes part.
Yeah.
Forgetting that sugar can actually lead to hypertension. So newsflash, if you didn't know, maybe your pressure is up there after all the things you do because you're eating too much sweet, too many sweets, too many candies. I've seen people buy candies, adults, buy candies like kids, and they go and they sit down and eat. Yeah. If you are hypertensive, you cannot do that. But especially if you're also, in a family of diabetes or high blood sugars, you definitely have to cut it because, like she said, all those things are going to come together and lead to what we call metabolic syndrome. You get protruded, abdomen. Your belly is big because of all the, triglycerides that are being formed that are packing there. You get insulin resistant. Your sugars your insulin doesn't work. And then your blood pressure begins to go up and your cholesterol begins to pack up in all those places, including your arteries. So sugar is not as sweet as it sounds. Come on. Sugar is not the best friend as, we make it to be. And that when we talk about sugar, let's mention, this is added sugar. Added sugar. Like what we are showing here now, somebody is adding sugar to a meal. You can completely eliminate that. You can definitely take it out. And then we have sugar.
Or you can reduce it.
Or you can reduce it.
Substitute
it with natural sources of sweetness.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about artificial sweetness because those have their own problems. But, if you can add a fruit that is sweet, it will take care of some of the things that sugar could do. And yet you still have and keep your sweet tongue. Come on, man. Yeah. So let's move on. So what's more alarming is that sugar triggers spikes in insulin levels, which we all know can cause your body to retain sodium. That is how sugar is causing this hypertensive crisis. You are eating sugar, but because it spikes your insulin levels, that causes your body to retain sodium. So insulin and sugar and sodium correlation. So if your insulin levels are high, then sodium has to be retained. And remember our lessons in the past that when you have so much sodium, your body has to keep a lot of water, and then your blood volume increases and your pressure goes up. As simple as that. So it's a cycle that can quickly spiral out of control if not checked. So definitely take care and make sure that you don't get yourself into trouble.
Yeah. So cutting back on sugar isn't just about reducing calories. It's about protecting your heart and keeping your blood pressure in a healthy range.
Oh, come on, man. Protecting your heart and keeping your blood pressure in healthy range.
So start by reading labels, as we mentioned earlier. Avoiding sugary drinks. So we have to avoid the sodas, the drinks.
Even juice.
Yeah.
Because
you have to
added
learn
sugar to it.
to read the labels and opt for natural sources of sweetness like fruit.
Oh, come on, man. Natural sources of sweetness. Like fruits. As we said earlier, if you really do have a sweet tongue, cut the sugar and eat an apple. Apple is sweet. Cut the sugar and eat some berries. Berries are sweet. Cut the sugar and eat something else that could actually give you the same taste and yet a healthier option. Because those natural sugars, because they are mixed with fiber, they can all be absorbed. And so you get healthier that way. So that is sugar for you as sin number 3. Now we can go on to sin number 4. Can we? Sin number 4 is stimulants. Stimulants. And by stimulants, as you can tell, and those of you watching on YouTube, stimulants, we're talking about caffeine in particular, coffee, right? That's a lot to take in. Many of us rely on coffee to jumpstart our day. As a matter of fact, recently I started, being a coffee drinker, and it's something that we should be careful of, because that cup in the morning, every day, 1 cup in the morning is silently raising your blood pressure, and you don't want to just live and not know where your blood pressure is going up and why. Caffeine and other stimulants, commonly found in coffee, like what?
Energy drinks.
Energy drinks. Come on, man. The booze.
And even some medications.
And some medications too. They have stimulants or caffeine that have been taken out of coffee and put in there to give you some energy boost. And these things can definitely spike your blood pressure. I understand that we say that the pressure spike from these stimulants may not be continuous throughout the day. Like if you drink your coffee in the morning, your blood pressure may spike within that morning. By afternoon, when the coffee is completely eliminated, your pressure may drop. But if you are somebody whose pressure is already high, you are struggling to control it, then that morning cup of coffee, that little spike in the morning, can still be dangerous. And so that is where we're coming from. If your pressure is controlled and you need your coffee, 1 cup of coffee per day, that's fine. Because when it spikes a little bit, it will come down. But if you're high, then it's dangerous. Dangerous. Very dangerous.
So how does this stimulants affect our blood pressure? So these stimulants work by constricting your blood vessels and increasing your heart rate, both of which can elevate your blood pressure.
Oh, come on, man. Both of which elevate your pressure.
So over time, regular consumption of high amounts of caffeine can contribute to chronic hypertension, increasing your risk of heart disease and stroke.
Oh, come on, man. That is bad. Something so sweet, but something so harmful. Oh, come on, man. So that other sugar should be taken out. Like we are showing, this coffee could have been a little bit healthier if they did not add that sugar there. That scoop of sugar is not good. So this person right here is getting the stimulant that raises the pressure and the sugar that raises the pressure, as well as causes diabetes. 2 things in one. Not good. If you need to have your cup of coffee, at least drink it black.
Wow.
At least, so that you miss that harmful effect of the sugar. And perchance, because it's just 1 cup, your pressure won't go much up. And then you'll be fine, or it will return to normal when the coffee is out of your system by the day's end. So that's definitely
what... so in addition to the sugar, maybe the cream.
The cream too.
May have a lot of sugar.
A lot of sugar and saturated fats, which we're going to talk about too. All right. So definitely make sure that that is not happening. Even if you are not adding sugar to your coffee, the stimulant effect alone can be harmful. So keep that in mind. So those of you who drink coffee in the morning and coffee at night, you may be probably better off avoiding this sin by just doing coffee in the morning, because at least everybody knows you want to wake up in the morning. But at night too, come on, man, you don't do both night and or even twice, morning and afternoon. Cut 1 back in order to lower your blood pressure, especially if you're already in a higher range. If you're normal and you've been doing that, and of course it's your body has adjusted to it, or your medications have been adjusted to it, and you are fine. But if you don't know your state, or if you are still struggling to bring your blood pressure down, cut that cup of coffee out and see how you do, working with your doctor on that respect. And so, as I said, it is important to moderate your intake. Try to limit yourself to 1 or 2 cups a day maximum, and be cautious of hidden stimulants that are in other products some of which we mentioned, the booze, Those of you in the US, you know what I'm talking about. We don't want to give them credit by mentioning their names. But if you go in the fridge, there's something called boo, and they have other names. So the next time you pick up a drink to, to potentially recharge you, look at the sodium, look at the sugar, and look at the caffeine in it, and see if all those things are helpful for you, especially the amounts on the labeling.
Yeah, and also other medications, right?
And also other medications,
we don't want to mention names.
Yeah, definitely.
So remember, it's not about cutting out caffeine entirely, but rather being mindful of how much you consume. Switching to maybe a decaf, herbal teas, or simply reducing your intake can make a significant difference in maintaining healthy blood pressure.
Oh, come on, man. My goodness. Switching.
So the teas are very good too. The herbal teas. It has a little bit of caffeine in there that can give you the kick. It's not as much as the black coffee.
All right. So with that being said, we're going to be right back. We got to hit a break and drink water. And so I want you to stay put, and we will see you right back. All right, we are back. Come on, man. We are back. Are back. And we're going to take on the next sin. Give to start off with that next sin.
Sin 5.
Oh, come on, man.
Which is sleep.
Sleep for you. Sin 5.
So did you know that getting enough sleep is just as important for your heart health as diet and exercise? Getting enough sleep. So when you consistently don't get enough sleep, your body doesn't get the rest it needs to regulate stress hormones, which can lead to elevated blood pressure.
Oh, come on, man. If you don't get enough sleep, what sin number was that? Sin number 5.
Number 5.
Sin number 5. If you don't get enough rest, your body is going to definitely go into some crisis. And I would say lack of sleep triggers your body to release more stress hormones like cortisol. You know, when you're stressed, cortisol is released. But if you don't sleep, cortisol is also released. And cortisol makes your heart work harder. And it increases your blood pressure. And over time, as we have already hinted, it may not be one time, but as you do it all the time, over time, this can lead to chronic hypertension. And it may put you at a higher risk for heart attacks and strokes. And that's exactly what you don't want to happen for you.
Yes, so it's not just about quantity, you know, but also quality of sleep.
Oh, come on, man.
So interrupted or poor quality sleep can have the same negative effect on your blood pressure as not getting enough hours of sleep. So aim for at least 7 to 8 hours of restful sleep each night to give your heart the break it needs.
My goodness. That's a lot to ask these days.
Yeah.
7 to 8 hours.
7 to 8 hours.
It's not easy. You know, some people think that even 6 hours is okay.
Yes.
If you can't get any, at least you're 6. But studies prove that 7 to 8 hours is the best of what you need to look for in the night. And she said quality sleep.
Quality.
That is exactly what you need in order that your body don't release those stress hormones to raise your blood pressure. So I'll continue by saying that.
So before that, just as you take diet and exercise, I think we keep stressing on it that it's important to diet and exercise. We also think of sleep as important as diet and exercise.
Definitely, definitely. So make sleep a priority then. Create a bedtime routine. This is how to be able to do it, because it's easier said than done. But if you use these simple methods we are mentioning, you could potentially get enough sleep. So first thing is to create a bedtime routine, that every night at this time, I am going to bed, whether I feel sleepy or not. When you hit the bed, your body gets used to it at the time, and then you will fall asleep. But if you just sleep today, this time, tomorrow, that time, depending on who is around, if
What's going on?
what's going on, what show is on TV, what movie I wanted to watch, it's all over the place. You can bet that there's always going to be something, and you won't get your 6, 7, or 8 hours of sleep that is recommended. So creating a bedtime routine is one. The next thing is avoid caffeine. Avoid caffeine. Coffee in the late evenings, around the time you go to bed, and most especially even around dinner time. I wouldn't, for some people, even if they drink coffee around noon, they can't sleep in the evening. So if you're that person, you definitely have to avoid it, because if you don't, then you're not going to be able to sleep. So these simple things can help you, and also keep your environment, calm. Where your bedroom is, you have to have that calmness created. If you need window shades to make it dark enough for when you sleep, because in the place where we live now, sometimes it is still sunlight when it's time to go to bed. Around 8 p.m. there's sun. But if you have made your mind to sleep at that time, you got to create that dark enough experience in your room so that you can have a calm and comfortable sleep. So that's what I think I would say to that. You want to add anything, or should we go to census?
So like with the routine, you can set an alarm, based on your schedule. Some people work at night, some people work at day. So the day, the time of day that you go to work, if you want to make it consistent, you can set a reminder. So you are in the middle of watching a movie or you're doing something, the alarm goes and you know for sure that it's time to drop everything and go to bed. So you put the same attitude, like the same importance on sleep as much as that your diet and your exercise.
Oh, come on, man. Add some importance to it. If sleep is important to you, you will create time for it. Just like some other things in your life are important. Create that importance and then make time for that sleep. The next thing is sedentary lifestyle. Come on, man. That is a sin to run away from. That's a sin to run away from. And by sedentary lifestyle, we are saying that you should avoid this sin by exercising. We don't know how many times we should say on this channel that everybody has to get some regular exercises. Every week, studies show that everybody who gets 30 to 45 minutes of exercise, per day for the week, it stands at the best chance of making sure that their pressure don't go up. Their blood sugars are always going to be controlled because of regular exercises. And I know that not everybody can get 30 to 45 or 30 to 40 minutes of exercise a day, but if you do it every other day, as long as you're consistent, it's going to work out. Because some people have very crazy schedules and it may not be possible to do it every day. But if at least you work it within your schedule to exercise and you avoid staying on the couch all the time, you are going to definitely decrease your blood pressure and you'll be avoiding that sin of sedentary lifestyle for you. I don't know if you have anything.
Yes, so sedentary, it's just like you are not moving. You limit movements during the day. So it's not just apportioning 30 minutes of the day just doing the rigorous exercise. So like you're saying, we don't have time. So if you don't have time to do that daily, so on the course of the day, every little chance that you get, you do something small. You try and stay active throughout the day. If you sit the whole time, you try to stand, during your work of the day. If you have to stop and take a walk, a stroll, as you listen to your favorite music or read a book or something. You do things throughout the day that cause you to stay active instead of staying at one spot for the whole day without any movements.
Without any movement, come on, man. Staying the whole day in one spot. Some people may get a little movement in their house, like from the bedroom to the kitchen to eat, and they're going back to the living room or even to the living room to watch TV. They are moving. Is that enough?
They're moving. No.
Oh, come on, man. That's what I wanted to clarify.
A lot of movement throughout the day.
A lot of movement throughout. I think, for the purposes of getting the full benefit, I think you have to create a really rigorous action for movement, because intentional, because especially where we live at, what about if it's cold and you're home? Oh, come on, man, you want to enjoy the heat. You don't want to move. The weather has come. As we say, the weather has brought itself, right? You are good to stay in bed, but that is exactly what is the sin you have to avoid, because this sin can, even some people stay in one spot and they get black clots, which leads to strokes. So definitely be on the move all the time. One reason why people of old didn't have to take a lot of blood pressure medications, that they used to hunt. They will wake up, and the first thing they do, they are off walking miles looking for food. Today the food is right in your fridge. Even if you step out to go and buy food, you are in your car, or you be on the bus or on the train, wherever it is. And so you don't usually get that benefit of movement, which is good for your heart and for your blood pressure. So you got to be, like she said, very intentional. If you do not work it out into your schedule, you can be home and not set foot anywhere. It will just be, you're taking a shower. After shower, your living room or your kitchen. And even if you step out, you are in your car. So you didn't do driving. You didn't move even a mile. But that is a recipe for going to hell, because it's a sin for blood pressure. Come on, man.
And being intentional, you can be a member of a gym. We have some people that sometimes, I don't know how they do it. Some people will go to work 9 to 5, then before they come home, they'll spend an hour in the gym before they come home, and it's part of their schedule. So they put it in as part of their daily routine. So that is being intentional. And some people will set up more 30 minutes in the morning, get up, be active, because your daily work slow you down. You can't stop and move. You can't stop and do things. The best thing is going from your computer to the bathroom and come back and stand at your computer. So your work schedule. There is less movement throughout the day. So the best thing that you can do to yourself, being intentional, is set up 30 minutes before work or after work. Fit it in your schedule and do something about it.
Do something. Come on, man.
If you do something, then you are not sinning, right?
You're not sinning. Come on. Cancel that sin of sedentary lifestyle, sin of not movement, for your blood pressure and for your heart health. So I'm pretty sure that there are several things you can do to be able to move. She mentioned also joining a gym. If you can't join a gym, make a gym in your house. Your living room could be your own gym, your basement, wherever it is, your apartment. There's got to be a place that you can intentionally put yourself into rigorous movement, like the guy we are watching on our slide here, so that your heart will beat. Once your heart is pumping and blood is flowing, and the good thing is, it's not just for your blood pressure, it affects everything. Those of you who are concerned about blood sugar, it will affect it. Those of you concerned about erectile dysfunction, it will affect it. Those of you who are concerned about getting sick every day with every disease that comes around, it will affect it. Once your body is moving, your heart is pumping blood to all your organs, all your cells, you will definitely feel much better than anybody else who is a couch potato, sitting and watching news and watching TV all the time without any movement. And I know, because some of the jobs you do, in fact, some people don't even step out to work anymore. The power of technology, they work from home, which is a great thing. But if you do not move, and all days, 7 days a week, or however many days a week, you are sat at your desk and table, and all you do is work because you are at work. Yeah, we know. but you got to fit it in somewhere, somehow, so that you can move around and give yourself the break, so you don't be a sinner in that respect. Come on. All right, so we can move on.
Yep.
All right, so the next sin
7. Right?
number 7, and that is smoking. Come on, man. Come on, man. Sin of smoking. I know a lot of viewers don't smoke. I know that for a fact because I know them. But yet others who smoke, and smoking is something you don't want to have, as a friend or as a character, because, well, apart from, being a sin for hypertension, it's a sin for other things, right? If you want to be religious, right? Because the Bible says that you should not put your body into anything like that because it's the temple of God, right? So if you're putting in smoke, you are smoking the Spirit of God in you. Come on, man.
Putting in fire.
You're putting fire on the Holy Ghost. Who doesn't need fire? Oh, come on, man.
It's already fire.
He's already fire. But on a more serious note, if you are sinning with the sin of smoking for your blood pressure, you are definitely going to increase your chances of getting heart disease. Smoking is one of the most dangerous habits for your heart and also for your blood vessels. Every puff you take delivers nicotine directly into your bloodstream.
Wow.
Have you ever thought about it? Which causes your blood vessels to narrow, and not just that, it stiffens your blood vessels, and then it also affects the way your heart works. It makes your heart work harder than usual, leading to a spike in your blood pressure. And you don't want that to be something that you are having for you just because you enjoy smoking.
Yes, that's right. But it's not just nicotine. Cigarette smoke can also contain harmful chemicals. Apart from the nicotine, we have other harmful chemicals in it that damage the lining of your arteries. So this damage makes your arteries stiff and narrow over time, which increases your blood pressure and puts you at a greater risk for a stroke and heart attack.
Come on, man. That's why it is a sin. That is why it's a sin for your heart to smoke. So if you are smoking, think about it. Even if you don't smoke, secondhand smoke can still harm you. So don't be around people who are smoking at work. They have a lunch break, they're smoking, and you are there talking with them. No. Secondhand smoke also causes similar effects on the blood vessels, and your heart, leading to high blood pressure. And in non-smokers, where they are always exposed to smoke.
Yeah. So the good news is that quitting smoking or avoiding exposure to it can quickly start to reverse these effects.
Oh, come on, man.
So that is a good news.
Good news.
Yeah.
So you stop today, the damage begins to reverse. Oh, come on,
so
man.
your blood pressure can begin to lower just weeks after quitting.
Wow.
Significantly reducing your risk of heart disease and stroke.
Come on. I cannot, we cannot emphasize that as much. So any better than that. If you are smoking, we are not judging you. We are, well, of course, our whole topic is sins about high blood pressure, right? So already you are judged. But the thing is that the good news from this is that when you begin to stop, you reverse some of the damage that has been occurring over the years while you smoked, and which is actually a huge thing. Right. There's studies have shown when people quit and how their heart prognosis become better over time compared to people who stayed smoking throughout their life. So definitely quitting at any time is better than not quitting. So that is where we want to.
So maybe you have this mind that, I've smoked enough.
Yes.
So why don't I continue and die of lung cancer, right?
Some people say that, yeah.
Yeah. But studies have shown that if you stop, it reverses. So why don't you stop so that you start getting better results for your blood pressure?
And the good thing is there are several resources that can help you. If you are really serious about quitting, I know some people have quit it and then they came back to it. It's okay. At least you tried.
Yeah.
You're better than somebody who has never even considered trying. So keep trying until you finally get,
Being able to.
be able to completely quit.
Yeah.
But quitting has a lot of resources. We have nicotine patches over the counter. Some insurance even pay for it. And there are prescription medications that also help you to quit and stay quit.
You have the lozenges, the gum.
Yeah, and the patches, all those things are there. You just haven't asked your doctor yet or your pharmacist yet. You can be helped to quit smoking and reverse those trends that we are talking about. So I guess we can go to the next sin.
The last one. The last sin, right?
Yes.
Sin 8.
Come on, man.
That is saturated fats.
Oh, come on, man. Saturated fat. Sin number 8. Wow.
It's a hard one. So saturated fats are found often in foods we love.
Oh, come on.
Like the red meat, the butter, and the cheese. The food that we really enjoy. But while they may taste good, they are doing a lot of harm to your heart and blood vessels.
Wow.
So these fats can raise your levels. I think we've talked about this. The LDL is increased. The bad cholesterol is increased, which is the bad cholesterol, the LDL. So this LDL can clog your arteries and makes it harder for your blood to flow.
Exactly.
And when it's making it harder for your blood to flow, it spikes your pressure.
Your pressure.
And your pressure goes up.
That's the whole point. Because the LDL is depositing in your arteries, they are narrowing the passageways for your blood. And if blood is struggling to move, then of course your heart has to beat bigger and harder and your pressure goes up. So that is the whole point of adding this sin number 8 to the whole discussion. So sin number 8 is that be careful because you can be clogging your arteries because of saturated fats. And when arteries become narrow, they become stiff too. They get stiff because, you have already put something there. So instead of being flexible, they are stiff. And those things are the ones that make it harder for your heart to pump, to get blood through them. And this extra effort is the one that actually causes your blood pressure to increase.
So even though we all crave, those rich, creamy dishes, it's important to remember that over time, these foods can lead to serious health issues. So reducing your intake of saturated fat is one of the best steps that you can take to lower your blood pressure to protect your heart. So it's not only for people with high cholesterol, it's also for people that are trying to control their blood pressure.
My goodness. Now, saturated fats, I think we may have inadvertently mentioned some found in, red meat, cheeses, and milks, and all those animal products, butter, and all those things have sources. But what if you can substitute those fats with healthier fats, kind of like those we have mentioned before? Fish. Come on. Fatty fish, right? Fatty fish is right there. And we have others, nuts and seeds, olive oil, better source of fat, plant fats rather than animal fat. Those are better choices. And those alternatives not only support your heart health, but they can actually help you lower your cholesterol levels and also blood pressure, reducing your entire risk of stroke. So yes, you want to eat your cake and you want the oils, right? We understand. But a cool thing to know about this is that when you substitute them with healthier options, like oils from avocado, olive oils, nuts, and seeds that have oils in them, you are definitely replacing them, and yet you are also getting better outcomes with those other sources that we are talking about. So I think that was the last one. And unless there's any other thing. Yeah. So we say that subscribe, but we have a few comments that we will potentially put on. Yeah.
So the one that you were showing, I don't know whether you can go back. The one that it was being fried, whatever they are frying. You can see that it looks really good, right?
Yeah.
But Instead of frying in this oil to absorb this cholesterol and the bad cholesterol, the LDLs and all that, why don't you bake it, put it in the oven, and bake it and put it in the air fryer? It will still come up crispy, all right. You will tend to enjoy whatever you put in and all that, but avoiding the bad cholesterol, which can increase your blood pressure over time.
My goodness. Bacon is what's up. Bacon is what's up. So change those habits of frying into bacon, which will definitely do you good. All right. So before we hit the comments, if you have not subscribed or shared this video, come on, man. You can do better than that. You can hit the like, thumbs up, subscribe, and share so that other folks will see it, because we're talking about good stuff right here. And yes, I think we have answered one of the questions here. Somebody is saying that, let me just put it on, saying that you guys should go live on TikTok. As a matter of fact, we are already live on TikTok as we speak, and TikTok folks are watching us right now at the same name on the channel, Dr. Oteng, as one word. So yes, we are live on TikTok, and I think this is the comment that our brother Mahafiz Magnibo. Hello, you guys should go live on TikTok. We are live on TikTok.
Yeah, maybe he means active on TikTok, so that maybe you can interact with other
Or if
people.
you want us to be interactive on TikTok, we'll think about it, because when we are doing the live show, it's difficult to be engaging in all those platforms at one time, and hopefully we will have some just discussions sometime on TikTok without YouTube and LinkedIn and other stuff. Yeah, we'll take that into consideration. But as far as going live as we speak, we are live. And now I can see some people watching us on TikTok. Adra Favor is watching. I see you. Rex1 is watching. Sweet Party joined. All those of you watching us on TikTok, we also thank you for joining us. And we hope you will come back and actually follow us too, because we got some other stuff. We talk about health and money because we want you to live healthy and long enough. But if you are poor, you don't have nothing to sustain you. So we talk about both.
I think I'm frozen on it, right?
Yeah, your camera is all right. So with that being said, we are about to let me see if I can go to the next scene so that I'll unfreeze you. I guess both of us are frozen now.
Yeah, for that camera.
Yes, for that camera. Anyway, all right. So and I think he had another comment. If you are watching anyone who have a question, or any comment you can post. Those on TikTok we cannot answer them, but those on YouTube, LinkedIn, we can see them live, and Facebook too. So Mahafiz Magnibo from Facebook had a question about examples of saturated fat foods. I think we got to it when we were
Right.
We definitely got into it. We said some of them include animal sources of fat are saturated fat. So if you eat red meat or any meat at all that have fat, you are getting a lot of saturated fat.
You mentioned the cheese too, right?
Cheese also, because cheese is from animal fat too, right? So all those milks, cheese, they all have saturated fat. And then they have used some fat also that you actually buy to cook at home that are also infused with saturated fats. They may have some plant fats there, but the processing is so bad that we don't even recommend them. So your best source of fats on the market is extra virgin olive oil.
The unsaturated fats.
The unsaturated fats. And then you also have avocado oil, where you know better how to use them to cook, because I just eat when you cook them. Come on, man. Is it avocado oil as well?
The avocado is the unsaturated fat.
Right.
Avocado.
Which one do you use to fry?
The avocado oil.
So if you have to fry something, for example, you like fried yam, you want to fry something, use avocado oil instead of olive oil, because you break it down with olive oil. Right. You break it down with the heat. All right. So that is that answer for you, for Mahafiz Magnebo. You can definitely hit the follow and subscribe on our both channels. We are live every Sunday, whether as talking about money or finance or talking about health. And this week is health. So next week we're going to be talking about finance, and that will be on a different channel on YouTube, which is Whole Life Channel, one word. So if you want to subscribe to both channels, at Whole Life Channel, you can see our show on money on YouTube. But if you are watching on TikTok, it's going to be shown right here again. And if you're watching on Facebook, it's going to be shown right here again. And we're going to make sure that we have fun next week. You have anything to say?
No, we're good.
All right. So with that being said, I'm pretty sure that we have come close to the end. And I don't know if there's anything else that we can say, except to say that if you have not subscribed, this is a good time to subscribe. Come on, man. Subscribe to our channel, hit follow on Facebook, hit follow on TikTok, and let's get our community growing, because we got a lot of stuff that we are all learning together. We are all learning together.
And also put your comments there.
And put your comments, yes.
We do read them.
We do read them, even if we don't answer them live after because the show will be over. But if you watch it anytime, or when you watch it anytime, you have comments, you should. And as a matter of fact, that somebody put a comment on our last show about the fact that when we started talking about the vitamins for your kidneys, and he was concerned that we didn't talk about what the kidney does. We just started going straight into the importance of those vitamins. And that is why today, if you watched, because of that idea, we started all the way from what even hypertension is, because we cannot assume that everybody knows what we're doing. If that person had not commented, we probably wouldn't have done that. We would have just gone straight to the sense. And then you'd be like, what is this? But now that comment has steered us, to a better direction. So keep that comment, those comments coming. Of course, be nice. Some people, their comments, when I see, I have to hide them completely from the channel because they are troublesome. But thank you for giving us positive feedback and supporting us in all the ways that you do. And as we said,
It's still frozen.
We are going to be definitely better next time. And hopefully, we're going to show you. Our website is Oteng.live. Oteng.live. So definitely you can can follow us. So, and I think there's another comment that says, let me just go back to this camera, because this camera is still frozen. There's got to be something done with it. That's the same camera that was giving us problems. Okay, so our friend says that you guys go live every Sunday. Yes. We are live every Sunday.
6 Eastern
Every
time.
Sunday. If you are in the
6 p.m.
US, it's 6 p.m. Eastern, sometimes 7 p.m., but most of the time 6 p.m. Eastern. And if you are in GMT time zone, that will be 10 p.m. GMT. And if you are Central time zone, you know your time. Come on, man. You know your time zone. Yes. So yes, every Sunday we are live. But subscribe, that way and hit the bell button. Because if you hit the bell and we go live, the YouTube or the Facebook or wherever you're watching us from, they will alert you and you can be part of our shows. But thank you for joining us today. And we are closing off. And we want to say,
Beloved, we wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers.
Thanks for staying and watching. Thanks.